I'm just laughing because I'm watching you just intently press all the buttons.
And
what
while
are
I'm
all
doing
the
it-
sound effects we can do?
Well, we only have 4, and it just feels so ridiculous and forced. Yet I'm too lazy to put any other sound effects, so
That's fine.
this is what we're working with.
Sounds great intro.
Maybe someday we'll be a real podcast, and I'll put actual sound effects that we choose onto the recording device.
I'm a real boy.
Yeah,
I'm
not
a
so
real
much right now. So yeah, welcome to, what is this called? Oh, Unqualified Opinions with Hambones and Megatron.
Episode 3. We still don't have an episode title, but we're gonna figure that out.
Yeah, that'll be
Yeah.
figured out at the end. But my working title is something like, fuck it. Let's just do this. Planning topics is hard.
We need to iron that out a little bit.
Eh.
No, fuck it. Okay, we can fuck it. We'll do fuck it.
I mean,
Fork
it
it.
doesn't. We can change the name. It's okay. That's just a working title.
Insert title here.
Yeah.
Anyways,
The subtitle is planning topics is hard.
It's-
So
yeah.
we're just not going to do it.
our brain's just not functioning.
We don't have a boss. We don't answer to anyone for this. And I don't think anyone has emailed and told us that we suck. So
Rob's our boss, and he doesn't give a fuck.
so we're just going to let it go off the rails and say whatever.
What are we doing for this episode, Chris?
We're going to talk about stuff.
Not. Okay. Well, in our episode notes. Oh, we're not reading up. We're recreating some of the silliness of episode 1
Right.
with the same polish. I'm not sure if we're going to be
We're shooting for the polish of episode 2, but the silliness of episode 1.
great.
So if you've listened to both episodes, you'll know exactly what we're talking about. And if not, you should stop here and listen to the first 2 episodes. And then if you still don't hate it by then, jump into episode 3.
Are we just going to do a plug every episode? Episode 4. Listen to episodes 1 through 3.
Yeah.
Episode 5. Listen to episodes 1 through 4.
Is that really so
I
bad?
don't think you need to listen to them in order. Actually, maybe episode 1 and 2 you need to.
Yeah, I think early on in a podcast, especially one as terrible as ours, as new as
pretty-
ours, not new as in it's new in existing, but new as in we're new to creating it.
Right.
Seeing that evolution, I feel like there's a little bit of value there,
Yeah.
but only
Chris-
as much value as listening to me talk. So
Chris, you want to hear about my dream last night?
sure. It's a beautiful segue, Megan. I love
Chris,
it.
I'm done with this intro. You want to hear about my dream?
Yes.
So I was baking a couple days ago and apparently just still had it in my head. So my dream was I was like baking at 2 or 3 a.m. I don't know how I know what time of day it was, but it just seemed like that.
Are you sure this is a dream? Because
No.
this sounds like something you would actually do.
Baking at 2 or 3 a.m.?
Yeah, you fall asleep at like 5,
True.
and then you get up at 2 a.m.
False.
and be like, I want to bake cookies.
That
Doesn't-
actually sounds... Yeah,
that's
if I had an
definitely-
edible or something.
Yeah.
No, so I went to go bake these cookies and set the oven for 400 for 10 minutes. And first of all, 400 for cookies? I'd have
That's
to
pretty
recheck.
high.
I'd have to check the recipe or the directions, but I don't think it's that high. Anyways, I zap fry these cookies to the point where the interior of this oven was completely melted and self-destructed.
Did
and
it
I
feel
opened
like
it up.
you were at home? Was it your
Yeah.
home kitchen? Okay.
It was
your
actually
oven.
like pretty on par with what our kitchen actually looks like.
Okay.
And I opened it up. I'm like, holy shit, it's like a pile of lava.
Yeah.
And Rob comes down and he's like, are the cookies ready? And I'm like, no.
I'm picturing that famous painting that has the clock hanging over
yeah.
the branch.
Salvador
and it's
Dali?
like- yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know the name of the painting, but yeah.
I
You knew the name of the artist, so I figured maybe you'd know.
think it's just clocks. Let me look
Is it?
up.
Oh yeah, they're all just melty clocks, aren't they?
I think it's Melty Clocks. I think
Yeah, that's the name.
of
But
Clocks.
anyway, I
I'm
picture
looking
the
it up.
inside of your oven looking like that, but without the clocks.
Yeah, it was a disaster.
Sorry.
I'm looking up.
Okay.
It says the persistence of memory, so pretty much Melty Clocks.
Yeah. It's just a slightly more sophisticated way of saying melty clocks.
It's pretty much the same.
Yeah.
Anyways,
But anyway, sorry, back to your dream. So you look in the oven and it looks like melty clocks, but without the
just
clocks.
a hot mess. So the cookies were not ready at that point in time, so I had to.
Was the melty oven getting on the cookies, or were the cookies unscathed?
I don't think the cookies were even in existence anymore. I think that they just like sat
Oh, the
fried to
cookies
the
were
point
no
where
longer the
No.
focus.
it
was just the
it was
melty
probably
oven.
melted with the plastic and like whatever else the oven was made out of. It was just
Okay.
a pile of goop.
Okay, the oven was melted to the point of like the cookies were no longer a
Yeah.
factor. They weren't even salvageable. They were just
There were no cookies.
they were consumed by the melty void of the oven.
And I remember thinking, I'm like, it's only 10 minutes, but it is 400 degrees.
Right. But also I don't think ovens go hotter than, the interior of the oven is designed to take. But it would be cool if you had an oven that could melt itself. You could just put that setting on the dial after
Why would you ever want that?
I don't know. You
You
wouldn't.
remind me of the people who put the Peeps, the chick marshmallow Peeps in the microwave just to see. Actually, that's pretty fun to do.
The knob would stop short of the melt itself setting. It would just be on the dial for irony,
Oh, I see.
for ironic effect.
Self-destruct.
Just the theory that it could melt itself if
Maybe you need to go into this business.
Yeah, no, I don't think I should be making ovens.
Have you ever had a dream where your teeth were like liquid? Or your teeth were
No, I
moving
don't
around?
have that. I've heard of people having that as a stress dream, or all their teeth falling out and things like that.
Why is it teeth?
But back to your oven dream, what do you think it means?
Oh my gosh.
Have you derived any deeper meaning from
Just
that?
like chaos, lack of control. Maybe it's because the temperature in Seattle lately has been like 67. It's really hot for us. So maybe I'm just thinking
You're like
bathing suit weather.
it's
I don't know.
summer. Everything's hot.
Crank it up.
Yeah. But that's cool. Did you just wake up after that, or did the dream evolve
Yeah.
into something else?
Nope, it was just the melted
Melted oven and then
oven.
cut and scene?
Yeah.
You didn't close the oven afterwards or
Oh.
do anything else? Just
No, I probably did what I would do in real life, is just leave it open and call for Rob. And
okay.
Rob, how can you fix this melted oven?
But the details kind of end there. That was the
Yeah,
the end of the memory of the dream.
I do remember Rob coming downstairs and taking a look at it, and he took a bottle of Windex and he just sprayed it on it, thinking that would fix it.
That's awesome.
And I think,
I'm glad I pushed you. This is my favorite part of the dream.
and I'm just like, I remember thinking in the dream, that's not going to fix anything. But that's probably from My Big Fat Greek Wedding, because that's one of my favorite movies. Put some
Okay.
Windex on it.
Yeah, I don't know if I've seen that movie, but I developed this image in my head of Rob being like, yeah, this should fix it. And like it not being completely illogical. Like, let's just clean it up.
That's pretty...
In a weird way, it made sense to me. I don't know why.
I remember thinking in my dream, that's not going to work. And Rob was pretty persistent about it. So
I'm
he's
glad
like,
that
we'll
you-
just use the bottle if we have to. This is going to work.
like empty the whole bottle of Windex
Yeah,
on
I'm
the
like,
melty
yeah,
oven.
gotta
It's
go to
funny that you
QFC.
had such a rational, logical, response to that.
It's usually the other way around.
Right.
Like, I remember putting up some Christmas decorations, like a garland or something.
Yeah.
And we had the stick on hooks for it to hang above our window. And had really clear directions on the packaging, like wait 30 minutes for it to adhere to the wall. And I'm like, it's fine. You can just do like 5 minutes. And Rob's like, it's just going to fall down. And I'm like, I don't know. They're just being extra conservative with this. Anyways, after a minute, it's just boosh.
Yeah.
It all falls down.
I've been there. I've done the same thing. But it's interesting that in the dream, that logic channel was flipped. And then here I am perfectly awake. And I'm like, oh yeah, that should work. Windex should definitely fix a melted oven. Like, what am I thinking?
He didn't really give much thought to it in the dream. He's like, I know what to do.
It was a
Windex.
very off the cuff. Like, this is what we have. This is what we're gonna do.
Maybe that's a plan F,
Right?
Plan G.
Well, if there's no other plan, then it's still plan A. It doesn't make it a good plan.
It's true. Yeah, that wouldn't even be on my list of ideas. Anyways.
But yeah, that's an interesting dream. I hope that you don't feel like your life is melting to pieces. Just Seattle outside.
No. Yeah. I'll probably just buy my cookies, Samoas, and just eat the whole thing.
Yeah, buying cookies.
Usually.
I like when other people make cookies, but I don't want to make cookies. It's too much work.
Hey, did you go to the Mariners game last night? Oh, wait, no. A couple days ago?
Yeah, I was there, actually.
Okay, this is just, like,
I'm
obvious.
guessing you were, too.
Yes,
Megan is a terrible actor. We
had found out before recording this podcast that we had been to the same Mariners game, and what's your name? Chris was like, oh, we should... What's your name? Hambones. Hambones was like, oh, we should play it off like we didn't know. And I'm like, I'm such a bad actor.
Yeah, you
Whoa,
really are.
You were at the same game?
I mean, I was even like, if you're worried about being a bad actor, we don't have to do it. And then she just went for it
I
anyway.
jumped into it. How much do you know about baseball? Because I know next to nothing.
I know that you hit the ball with the bat and run around in a square.
Yeah.
It's tilted 45 degrees, so it's a diamond.
Yeah. Yeah.
But, I mean, depending on which way you look at it, it could still be a square. It all depends on where you're seated in the stadium, I guess.
I was sitting there double fisting Topo Chicos and just yelling, I hope both teams have fun!
What is a Topo Chico for one?
Go sports! It's like a Truly's. It's like a hard seltzer, but better, in my opinion. But the only flavor they had was lemon, which is disgusting.
I joke with all my friends that I don't know anything about sport ball. So I'm like, oh man, I hope we don't miss tip-off while we're on our way there.
Is that even associated with any sport? Maybe golf?
I think a tip-off is in basketball where they like throw the ball up and they jump up to try to like hit it with their hand. I don't know. This is showing how much I know. I don't know. I feel like I think I know, but I could be completely wrong.
I'm god awful at basketball.
And then whenever they run home, I'm like, ooh, did we get a touchdown?
Oh, God.
I just intentionally say all the wrong words because it's fun.
Yeah. Yeah, I was not. I went to go get a personal pizza, which I made into a calzone.
You just folded it in half.
Folded it in half.
Yeah.
Super New Yorker.
That's great.
It was actually really good pizza.
Yeah.
Probably not worth the like $60 I spent on it, but
yeah, the food there is so expensive. I made 2 trips to the food vendors, and the first trip I think I spent like $30, and the second trip was like $15.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He like reads the total out loud. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, what?
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
Anyways, I was just sitting there not really knowing. I just like the vibe of it, and it was...
Yeah, it's fun to be there. The food is good, even though it's expensive. Did you go with anyone?
Yeah, I went with Rob and a few of my friends from high school, and yeah.
That's cool.
That's cool.
I went with my friend David and a couple of his friends. Both are kind of like mutual friends. But yeah, we had a good time. We were just chilling. It was a little bit cold. But yeah, we got our tickets for like $15 a piece. So they were cheap tickets way out in the back, in the outfield. But we had a good time. There was a lot of good food.
Did you get there early
And
enough
just
for
hung
the
out.
sweet vests? They were handing them out.
No, I think we missed kickoff too. The first pitch. It was.
Did we miss the tee off?
We had a really hard time finding our seats, and by the time we got to our seats, we were already in like the bottom of the first inning, I think. Oh no, I used correct verbiage.
Sports?
I've ruined my sport ball joke. But yeah, we had a good time.
I was just, we're talking about baseball, but I'm thinking about basketball. Are you any good at basketball? Because I remember having team sports in high school, and the only job we had was to make as many hoops as possible in a minute, and I made like one.
I can dribble, I can shoot, I can make probably half to 2/3 of my attempts from like the free throw line type distance. I can probably make about 1/3 of my attempts from the 3-point line. And occasionally I'll try to do like a half court shot just for fun, but that's like maybe a 1 in 10 at best. And the longer I've been playing, the more tired I am. Mm-hmm. The half court shot just isn't even a possibility anymore at a certain point. But I'm not good at any of the technical playing the game. So, like guarding someone or getting around someone who's guarding me, like playing one-on-one is not particularly fun. I just like to dribble and shoot. So I usually play horse or, just mess around and have fun.
Yeah.
Usually I'll go to, and I say usually like I do this all the time. A few times last summer and once so far this summer, I'll like go to a park with a friend and we'll have 2 basketballs. So we each have our own and we'll just kind of walk around and dribble and shoot and run after and grab our own ball while we're having a conversation. Just a good way to chill and get some activity.
Yeah.
That's my definition of playing basketball.
Sweet. I was going to say horse. I usually only get to the HO because I'm a hoe. Badoomch. I'm not actually a hoe. You're the hoe. Yep, there we go.
Yeah.
That's it.
I was a bit late.
Didn't you say you had a bar question? You were at the bar the other day and
yeah,
you've been dying to ask me this question and I can't wait to answer
I
it.
haven't been dying to ask it. You've just been dying to hear it because I wouldn't tell you what it was before we recorded. Because,
I don't do well with surprises. I'm like, oh my God. I'm so freaking excited. I can't wait.
And also, if I tell you beforehand, you can't pretend like it's your first time hearing it.
Yeah, true.
That's the biggest
That was
reason.
rough. Yeah.
But anyway, we don't have to drag that out too far. Yeah, this is a fun bar question that is actually a shout out to my friend Mark, who came up with this question, or he heard it somewhere else. I'm not sure. I didn't ask if it was his idea or not. But it was a great question.
Mac.
So the question he proposed was, if a mystical wizard came to you, and I might be embellishing it a bit, but this is how I heard it in my head when he said it. If a mystical wizard approached you and you knew it wasn't a crazy homeless person, but
Like Gandalf? We're talking Gandalf?
yeah.
Yeah, okay.
A mystical wizard approaches you with an old, mysterious looking book and says to place your hand upon this book and you will know everything there is to know about any particular topic as long as you tell me that topic before you put your hand on the book. What topic would you choose?
Any topic.
Every piece of information, everything there is to know about that topic. No matter how tangentially, I don't know that word. Why am I trying to say words I don't know?
What was your answer to this? My first thought is I would love to know everything there is to know about economics so I can make some financial decisions for the future.
You want me to be entirely
I want to know
honest?
everything there is to know about Bitcoin.
You want me to be entirely honest? I had the exact same answer.
Really?
Yes, that was legitimately my answer.
What?
Yeah.
I guess that's a little bit more useful than sloths or like.
And then I'm trying to remember what other people in the group said, but I'm 99% sure that was my answer. And then, or it was someone's answer, but I'm pretty sure it was mine. There was an offshoot that was sort of like a take it in another direction. How would you overcome the challenge then associated? So let's say the wizard has a little bit of a backhanded trick up his sleeve and says that, okay, you now know everything there is to know about finance and economics. But
now you have nipples for fingers.
You can't use any of that knowledge for personal financial gain.
Oh my god. What?
Yeah. What do you do? How would you use that knowledge other than personal financial gain?
Oh, like I would switch it from economics, or how would I get creative with that?
How would you get creative with that?
Oh.
Because you only get one. You already know everything about economics. You can see all of the strings that control the system. You just can't use it for personal gain. In fact, anything you touch money-wise, if you pick up a dollar bill off of a table, it vanishes. You can't have a bank account in your name. If your name shows up on a bank account, the balance goes to zero.
Would I have to have a sugar mama or sugar dada? Or like what?
I mean, if that's the kind of
Daddy.
if that's the kind of relationship you want, sure.
What if I gave it to you and you just Venmo'd me?
As soon as I Venmo it to you, it goes to zero if your name's on the Venmo account.
Would I have to do Bitcoin? Is that how that works?
Nope. Anything of any monetary value, any currency, as soon as it's legally in your name or in your possession, it vanishes. You cannot have any money.
But someone can buy things for me?
Yes.
So
you can have material possessions. You can live in a structure, but you just can't have any money. So it doesn't have to be a sugar daddy, but a trusted friend, a family member. I can give you some ideas. You could impart some of your knowledge on them. You can share. You can teach. You can pass on methods. You could create a system that someone could use to generate income without having all of your understanding. You could set up some finite steps. These are the things that I said I would do. I would find someone who I trusted and teach them as much as I could. And in return, they would allow me to live with them and, buy me food. And,
feed me.
Get me all the things that I asked for.
Fan me with palm leaves.
Buy me a 60-inch TV. Use I could still use their money, but it just has to be through them. I just can't physically be in contact or direct contact with the money.
Oh my god.
And I'm pretty sure you could find someone that would do that for you if you're making them rich in exchange.
I guess, but wouldn't the power get to their head and then they would get greedy and want it for themselves?
Maybe. And then you find someone else to until you keep trying until you find someone that has a decent heart.
Can you transfer your money to someone else?
No, not the money.
Yeah.
The knowledge.
Oh, the knowledge. Oh, okay.
You would start
can you suck the knowledge out of them and then...
No, they could keep the knowledge and keep being a greedy asshole, but you can find... If the power goes to their head and they're no longer willing to... If they're no longer grateful for the wealth that you have brought them, I mean, you could... do anything you would do that doesn't involve money. You can punch them, smack them, tell them they're being an asshole. Like, you wouldn't have any of this if it weren't for me. And then if they don't change their tune,
be grateful.
Right. Sit down, be humble.
Sit down, be humble.
But if ultimately they don't change their perspective, then you find someone else to begin imparting that knowledge on and coach them to leverage the system the same way. But I think
a good
somebody
question.
would most likely be pretty grateful for that. If you had a friend that was willing to impart.
What about Dobby the house elf for Harry Potter? Dobby! Dobby gets a sock.
I'm not sure if Dobby.
Master gives Dobby a sock.
I don't know if Dobby could
And
grasp
also
those.
billions of dollars.
I don't know if Dobby could grasp those high-level financial concepts.
I don't think so either.
Create a portfolio.
I think Dobby's probably smarter than Trump, though.
Oh God!
I
think
would totally campaign for Dobby for president.
Yes, I would agree.
Dobby.
So yeah, I thought that was a fun question.
What did other
And I
people
thought-
answer? Or how did they answer?
I wish I could remember. I probably should have planned ahead for this question and like asked the
it's
people
okay.
who were in that conversation to remind me what their answer was,
Yeah.
so that I would just have it and it would feel natural.
So it's interesting that you bring this question up because I was walking around University Village the other day, and there was just this like huge celebration. And I need to preface this story by saying I do not intend on making this sound like culturally insensitive in any way. But we're walking down, and there's two lines of people just like celebrating in these like ornate, what's it called? It's like not uniforms, but like, you know what I'm talking about? Not
Yeah.
costumes, not uniforms.
Yeah, like some kind of ceremonial dress
Yes.
or gown.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Perfect. And so they had a bunch of books, and one guy stopped me, and he was holding a burrito, and he's like, "Oh, ma'am, here's a burrito. Like, please read something out of this book." And so I recited something in a different language, not knowing at all what this meant, but I got a free burrito out of it. And then he proceeded to ask me if I wanted to buy this book, and I'm like, nah, man, I can't. I'm a teacher. I can't buy anything. And he's like, "Oh, okay, here's a pamphlet." So I got a burrito and a pamphlet.
Wow, and you
Yeah.
you read something out loud that you don't know what
I
it
had
meant.
no idea. It was beautiful, but
Okay.
like I don't. Yeah,
But you'd like to give them
like
the
my-
benefit of the doubt that it wasn't anything.
I kind of felt bad taking the burrito though. So I saw a guy on the side of the street, and I just laid the burrito next to him. He was taking a nap. I'm
Aw.
like, you might want a burrito when you wake up. So
That was very kind of you.
I also, yeah.
You paid it forward.
But then, like 15 minutes later, I was so hungry. I was like, "Oof, maybe I should have taken half that burrito." It was thick. It was a big burrito.
Was it like a Taco Bell burrito or like Qdoba? Like,
Hey,
what was the?
No,
Do you have any idea where it was from?
this was like Taco Del Mar status. It was
Okay,
like you slam it down on the table and it creates like an
Okay.
earthquake.
it was a beefy burrito.
It was beefy, and I was like, "Seriously, man?" And he's like, "Yeah,
He just happened
have a
to
great
have
day."
a burrito in his hand.
Yeah.
That he didn't want. He wasn't like he didn't have a satchel like a side bag full of burritos that he was handing out.
It was kind of a blur for me. Like so much was going on, so I don't know. Like burritos are flying all over the place. Like
I want a picture that he has like one of those big like newspaper delivery boy shoulder bags just full of burritos. And he's handing out burritos.
may the
to get
peace of
people to
Christ
eat.
or may religion be upon you. Here's a burrito.
Right.
I'm pretty
Here,
sure.
read from this book in a foreign language and I'll give you a burrito.
Oh man, what I would give to have a burrito
When you
I
read
did-
from the book, was it just to like people on the street or
No,
was
to
it at a
him.
microphone?
No, it was like a one-on-one thing, and he's like, "Repeat after me," and I'm like, "Okay." I mean,
Wow.
I got a burrito. I'll repeat anything.
This feels weirdly cult-like. He's
it
taking you
kinda
aside and be like,
was.
repeat after me,
I'm
and I'll give
little-
you a burrito.
No, I'm really worried about the next week ahead.
I know.
What's that gonna look like?
I want to know what it said.
I don't know. I don't know.
If you remembered it, you could maybe translate it. But I wouldn't
That's
be able
where
to.
the culturally like I would try to remember what I was saying, but I would butcher it.
Well,
I butchered
yeah.
it even reading it in the yeah.
That's not culturally insensitive. If it's not a language that you know,
Oh, it would
I can-
stray so far.
I would barely be able to remember what I said if it was in English, let alone a language I don't
Something
know.
about I don't know.
Yeah, it's okay.
My brain was just on the burrito. But
Just like
I'm a
eyes
very
on the
simple.
prize.
I'm a very simple person.
I mean, if you're reading a language you don't know and
Yeah.
you're getting a burrito that you do know,
Yeah.
that's where your focus is going to be.
Yeah.
And then it's funny that
Just got a
you were
bunch
just
of free
like, I
swag.
really want that burrito, so I'm going to do this. And then afterwards you were like, no,
Just,
I
like,
don't deserve this burrito.
I didn't. It was definitely the law of reciprocity where I'm like, oh, I didn't give him any money. I don't deserve this burrito. But
Right.
it was a classic pass it on situation. So hopefully
Yeah.
that guy realized that the burrito was next to him and didn't leave it there because
Yeah, no, I think it's a good thing. I have this terrible pattern that every time I see someone who looks like they could use some food,
yeah,
I don't have any with me.
yeah,
And every time I do have extra food that I don't want to eat, and it's like sitting in the fast food bag next to me or whatever in the passenger seat of my car, I'm like looking all over the place for someone who might be hungry.
yeah.
And that's when they're nowhere to be found.
The last time a guy was on the side of the street and had a sign that said anything helps, and I gave him an energy bar and he got really mad at me. I'm like, what? I just feel as though, there's a lot of misconceptions about, the homeless community in Seattle. And obviously the system has failed them on many levels. However, there are people out there who are holding these signs and really painting a picture that's inaccurate of the greater community out there, right? Like,
Yeah, I think they can be
I just like,
a little bit misleading sometimes.
I don't know.
Yeah, it's hard to believe the sign, but you also know that they're definitely in a worse place than you are. Yeah, it's interesting. I have a lot of weird and varied experiences with homeless people in different cities and in different. Everybody's individual experience is so unique that I've already found it really hard to make any kind of blanket statements.
Yeah.
The only blanket statement that I find to be true about 85% of the time is that the best way to end homelessness is to provide homes.
Yes. Yes.
I think that, there are a percentage of, I'm purporting, somewhere 15%, give or take, of homeless folks that don't necessarily want a permanent home. But some of those I wouldn't necessarily classify as homeless. There's just people that
Right.
enjoy being a nomad or drifting from place to place. And that's their decision. But it's the people who are homeless that genuinely want a home and want some kind of stability.
Yes. Yeah.
But then, there's also mental health and providing public resources for mental health that is
Oh my God.
basically
yes.
non-existent right now. Yeah, this conversation took a really serious turn.
I mean, it's a huge topic right
Yeah.
now, especially where we live. And there's one of my favorite books is called Breakfast at Sal. I'll just say this and we can kind of move on, but
You're good.
I mean, it's important. One of my favorite books is called Breakfast at Sally's, and it's about this like super successful businessman who has just a ton of money, really seemingly stable family structure and that kind of thing. And one day he just goes bankrupt, and then he becomes homeless, and all he has is his dog and his house and his car. Loses his relationship and loses custody of his kids, loses everything. And then the book is just about how he rebuilds himself through a community on the streets. And Sally's is the name of a place that he used to get about a bunch of like free meals, and just a really pivotal part in his life where he's just sitting down to dinner with these men who have, like you said, just like varying degrees of homelessness and just different life stories. And he's just really learning what the priorities of life are for him. And then he discovers his love for writing through getting a typewriter. And then he ends up being a famous author. So
That familiar
really
that
great.
familiar sounds vaguely story. That story outline sounds vaguely familiar. I may have heard something about that in the past.
It's a amazing story, and it really just highlights that there is depth beyond what you're seeing on the streets. Like there's just a story that extends way beyond what we assume is happening.
Yeah, every individual has such a unique story that makes up their life.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy.
I don't have a great segue to the next thing, but
well, I was curious. Maybe we shouldn't be going backwards, but I'm a little curious. Do you have any sense of why he was upset that you gave him an energy bar? Do you think he was wanting money instead and not really looking for food, or
that's a really good
thinks
question.
that energy bars are gross?
It might. I mean, some of them are.
Yeah.
Some of them are real nasty.
Like, what is this garbage?
I mean,
giving me a Gatorade protein bar. Get out of here with that.
I've eaten a lot of energy bars in my lifetime, and I try to pick the good ones. Like, this one was, in my opinion, really, really good. It was a Go Macro bar.
Yeah.
I love that brand. It was a sunflower seed. I'm like, oh, I really don't want to part with this, but I will.
You should have been like, when he got mad, you should have been like, well, that one's one of my favorites. So
well, I'll keep it.
I'll take it back.
Well, I think he didn't even, like, I reached out to give it to him, and he didn't even receive it. So I'm like, okay. So
well, at least you got to keep it, I guess.
I know.
But yeah, I think also one of the things I have heard is that for all the lack of housing in Seattle, there is not a lack of food. I think I've heard from credible sources that even though there's a huge homeless population here, that there is not a shortage of food kitchens and food banks and meal services. So that, I don't think anyone in Seattle is starving. So I think maybe that's why they're not necessarily looking for food most of the time, because they all know where they can go to get a warm meal, you know, a couple times a day. So they're not in any danger of malnourishment or extreme hunger. They're just looking to have, a little bit of money. And, it's unfortunate that it's not going to be anything that's life-changing. And a lot of people are critical, like, oh, they're just going to spend it on alcohol.
Right.
And it's like, well, if you're homeless and, you got to be feeling pretty down. Yeah. I mean, people who just have a normal, stressful life would need a drink every once in a while.
Right.
if you think you need a drink,
yeah.
I think they feel. So I say
any way to escape reality of the situation.
Yeah, I say if that's the one little thing that they can have to give them a little bit of comfort or escape or peace, we shouldn't be judging anyone for having a drink or, whatever.
Such a good point.
Yeah. So, and sometimes they genuinely do want food. I was at a Burger Master, the one on Aurora, and this guy had a really good strategy for getting stuff out of people.
Yeah.
He came up to my window while I was like just mowing on a big sloppy sandwich, and is like, do you have a little bit of money for me to get some food? And, I'm just like stuffing myself with a burger. I don't want to be like, no, go away.
Yeah.
So yeah, I gave him like $10 and I actually watched, and he went into the Burger Master to buy a burger. And I'm like, that's cool. I can understand. You might, I'm sure that you don't get big, juicy fast food cheeseburgers at the shelter. So I can appreciate that he wanted some fast food.
Yeah.
I get it. But I did feel a little bit manipulated. I was like, that's a really clever...
$10 is a lot for fast food. Like, you can get a pretty decent amount. Right?
You live in Seattle. I just spent $13 at McDonald's, and all I got was nuggets and a sandwich.
Nugs. 20-piece nugs, though.
Hey, don't call me out on the show. But
all right, ham bones.
It's like $8.50 for a burger at Burger Master, plus tax and whatever.
Yeah,
so it does end
Burger
up being
Master.
like $10. Yeah.
So the dollar menu, what do you get? Like a thin patty, or what do you?
At
my
Burger
God.
Master? They
No,
don't have
just
a
like
dollar menu.
No, McDonald's has the dollar menu, right?
I think the only thing on the dollar menu in Seattle is like a small drink.
Really?
Everything's really expensive here.
Oh my God.
I went to Taco Bell KFC up close to where I live just a couple nights ago. I got a 3-piece chicken tenders combo and 1 burrito from the Taco Bell side of the menu.
You know you don't have to pay for burritos.
Yeah.
Anyways,
If you have the right hookup.
you have to be
My
at the right
total-
place at the right time.
How much do you think my total was for a 3-piece chicken tenders combo and 1 burrito?
Where is this again?
The KFC Taco Bell combo
Oh yeah, yeah.
by my
Was
place.
it like $12?
Double. $23.
What?
Yes.
What is this, like high quality chicken?
No, it's KFC. I mean,
Oh,
yes,
yeah, why am I even
KFC
asking
is
that? That's
Wonderful,
KFC.
beautiful, high quality chicken. It definitely meets my standards.
No, Sisters and
it's
Brothers is where
delicious.
the chicken's at.
Oh my god, that is the best.
Sisters
chicken
and
ever.
Brothers. If you haven't been, all the listeners out there, all you 2 listeners, drop everything. Just stop listening to our podcast and go. Actually, no, continue listening to the podcast on the way to Sisters and Brothers.
Yeah,
It is so good. It's just spicy AF.
I think they have different heat levels. You can
They
kind
do.
of customize
Even the
it.
mild one is spicy.
Okay, well, I get the hottest one, and
mouth-
it's a good heat level.
My
I
mouth.
I haven't had it in
melts.
so long. I need Sisters and Brothers now.
I might get that tonight.
You're making me so hungry.
Yeah, but they're really expensive.
They are.
But they're
It's
worth it.
like $25 for one combo or whatever.
But the chicken they give you is like a giant piece of chicken.
It's huge. It's juicy. It's flavorful. It's just, oh my god. Are we a food blog now?
Yeah, I know.
an
Best
audio
chicken
food
places. I went to where was it? What's that other chicken place that is well known in Seattle?
Bakabak?
No,
Zell's?
Yeah, Zell's.
Okay.
I went to a Zell's and it's not all it's cracked at.
Yeah, I was
Like,
going to say the same
Quality
thing. I
has
think
really diminished.
Zell's is overrated. Everybody says how great it is, and I'm like,
Like, this is fine.
it's just like regular. It's very middle of the road.
Yeah. You know what's really good? The Cajun fries at this drive-through. I'm forgetting all the names of these places. It's
That's
a
all right.
drive-through chicken sandwich place.
I don't think I've heard of that. You'll need to tell me the name when you can
When
come
I
up with
remember it, maybe I can look it up.
Yeah, there you go.
It's not that important, though.
What's the...
Drive-through chicken places. Kid Valley. Oh my god, no. Kid Valley. Does anybody go there anymore?
They have
Oh,
decent
Popeyes.
shakes.
Popeyes.
Oh, yeah, Popeyes is good.
Their Cajun fries,
Oh, yeah, their fries are really good.
I don't think I've ever had. That's the best fry I've ever had.
Really?
Yes.
I think Dick's are the best fries I've ever had.
Ew! They're limp.
I love soggy fries.
So gross. Oh my god. Maybe
My-
if I'm crossfaded, I'll like
My entire life, I always thought that no one could ever top McDonald's fries. And then I had Dick's fries, and I was like, oh my god, someone has done it. I don't know how.
bar is so low.
No, that's the top bar. What are you talking
It's
about?
not. So gross.
I will give you that Popeye's fries are the best, like, fried chicken restaurant, Cajun seasoned, that type of fry. Within that category, they're definitely the best.
Yeah.
And I can't really compare that to regular plain fries. And I wouldn't compare either of those two to potato wedges. Like
yeah.
in
JoJo's?
the Midwest, yeah, they call them JoJo's.
Oh yeah.
Did they call them that here too?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. That's weird.
I
'cause
used to order those.
growing up in
white
Michigan, they were just called wedges, potato wedges, or just wedges for short.
Wedgies.
Not wedgies.
Lil wedgies.
Those are just the little ones. But when I moved to Minnesota, somebody asked me if I wanted JoJo's, and I was like, what the fuck is a JoJo? I think growing up, my aunt had a little poodle named JoJo, so I was like, I don't want to eat a bunch of little poodles.
Oh, God.
What is a JoJo?
Fried dog.
I had a completely different association with that name. And then I found out what they were, and I was like, oh, okay, I like JoJo's. These are good.
Oh, JoJo's are the best.
But yeah, you can't compare those to regular fries. You can't compare regular fries to seasoned fries.
Yeah.
They're different foods.
Did I tell you about, I don't know if this was in episode 1, but Red Robin fries are pretty thick like JoJo's, basically, right?
Yeah, I would call them steak cut fries.
Steak cut.
But they're not seasoned, and they have a similar texture inside as like a regular McDonald's type fry or Burger King fry. So I would still categorize those as regular fries.
Yeah. Anyways, did I tell you about that story when I was a kid and it was around Christmas time, and
I don't think
I had
you did.
a blueberry candy cane that was probably like 15 years old. I don't know how old this was.
How did you find a 15-year-old candy cane?
I was
the bottom of the Christmas decorations box?
Yes, exactly.
That's great.
So I get this and I'm like, oh, just happily putting them up. And then I would always eat my candy in secret because I'd be like, oh no, I'm not supposed to eat this. So I eat this I eat this blueberry candy cane and I'm like, oh, it's so good. An hour later, we're at Red Robin, and I'm sitting in the booth eating a shit ton of these fries. And I don't know if it's the fries or the candy cane. Pretty sure it was the candy cane. I was like, oh no. And I just lay down on the bench, just dying. And then I end up getting into the green minivan that my mom owned at the time, sitting in the back seat with my sister, and she is deathly afraid of throw up. Just cannot even be in the same room, cannot hear it, cannot smell it, anything.
Oh,
and I'm like, oh, Jesse, I got throw up. Anyways, threw up basically on her.
In the back of the van?
It's probably like all blue. And I'm like, oh, this is a candy cane.
No bag or anything?
Anyways.
You just let it fly?
Oh, we had to leave Red Robin early in a rush because I had to get back home. Desperately.
Okay, but then you didn't make it.
It was like the coffee poop, so I was like, I gotta go.
But it seems like it was all for now. You would have been better off just going to the bathroom at the Red Robin.
I should have done that, but I was just like feeling kind of sick then, and then it got to emergency level in the van.
Wow. How close to home were you? Like, did you almost make it home, or was this like still in the Red Robin parking lot?
No, we were in the Red Robin parking lot, and
Yeah.
I was like, I can't even.
That escalated quickly. You really should have gone to the bathroom.
Oh my god! Just screaming,
like, okay,
throwing
we're all
up.
in the van, buckled up, ready to go, and then all
I
over
couldn't
your
eat any more
sister.
fries. So I don't think it was the fries. I remember really enjoying the fries at first, and I was like, I can't have any more of these. But I think it was the candy cane. Pretty sure it was the old candy cane. Can those go old? I don't even know. It's sugar.
I
feel like that kind of.
Kids' stomachs can be fickle. How old were you?
I think I was like 6.
Okay, yeah, that's definitely yeah. And then you had sugar, and who else knows what else you ate that day, and then you started eating French fries.
Candy canes, and I probably ate a bunch of other like Christmas cookie dough and stuff from rolling the cookies and powdered sugar and stuff. I don't know. I was just a human dumpster eating a bunch of shit.
I mean, I still am, so I can't judge. My nickname is the human garbage disposal.
Yeah.
I need to do better and get my act together for the summer and try to eat a little better and be more active.
I don't say this jokingly. Every body is a summer body.
No,
you laugh. You laugh. No,
and
I'm serious. I'm seriously like I see how that can be taken as a joke, but fuck the media, man. Are you?
I mean, it can be a joke and be serious at the same time.
It can.
Because technically, you're right. You can't say that it's not.
Yeah, exactly.
But doesn't mean that it's the ideal either.
I don't know. I just like free your body in any form that it is, you know?
Yeah, but I
Like,
also
there's
want to
gonna
be
be some
healthy
cellulite.
and live longer.
That's true.
So there's a lot. There's more to it than just appearance. If it was just my appearance, and I could have a decent level of fitness and feel good, then I wouldn't care so much.
Yeah, but like strong is sexy. Strong's the new sexy. Doesn't matter how skinny you are. If you are healthy, that should be what's attractive. I just feel as though all of the swimsuit models are just like no shame. No, I'm not body shaming them, but like that shouldn't be the only ideal.
Yeah, no, you should be comfortable in your own skin and be focused on overall health, not just on your appearance. Health and how you feel, and
Exactly.
the advice of your doctor should definitely come first.
For sure.
Yeah,
For sure.
usually appearance follows naturally if you're actually doing all the right things.
Yeah.
But that shouldn't be the main focus. But yeah, I've been
Anyways.
trying to be more active, and I took up longboarding again. I used to ride in previous years in Minneapolis, and I just started doing it again this summer, so that's been fun.
I didn't know you longboarded.
Yeah, well, it's my first time since being in Seattle. My board was just in the closet, and I just got it out like a week or two ago, since the last time we got together.
Do you do some sweet flips?
No, I don't do any tricks at all. Longboarding is generally not very trick oriented. It's mostly just riding. The more extreme side of longboarding is like downhill and going really fast.
Oh, yeah.
And then there's also people that are into longboard dancing, which is people who actually are good enough at riding on relatively level ground or a slight, incline, and they are like moving around and doing things on, like dance moves on the skateboard as they're moving down the path. But no, I don't do any of that. I don't want to go faster than I can run, because stopping on a longboard is also relatively challenging. The only way to stop really is to put your foot down and slow yourself down by dragging your foot on the ground. Or you can do a run out, which if you're going as fast or slower than you can walk or run, you can just hop off the board and run out, and slow yourself down by running on the ground, and then just hopefully you can also stop your board so it doesn't just keep rolling away from you.
I would wear elbow pads, knee pads, helmet,
Yeah.
finger pads,
Finger
ankle pads.
That or just
I would
don't
just
fall.
wear.
I just look for the flattest paths that I can, and I can go at a comfortable leisurely pace. I don't have to worry about going too fast.
Yeah.
And yeah, so that's all I do. But it's a good way to get outside and enjoy the weather.
Did you ever do Pokemon Go?
Yeah, I do, actually. I play
you
Go
do?
while longboarding most
You
of the
do?
time. It's a great way to, yeah.
You play Go while longboarding?
Well, I mean, you don't have to be riding the entire time. You can, like, stop at a bench or a drinking fountain or anywhere along the path. You
know
can
why I
just
was-
hop off and play. But I do occasionally, when I'm really confident or the trail isn't crowded and I'm cruising along comfortably, I have gotten my phone out and actually played while on the board. But I try to not do that too often.
Dang.
But yeah.
Rob's really into Pokemon Go, and he took me out one time, and I was really new to it and trying to catch these Pokemon, and I always overshot the ball.
Yeah, getting the technique down on the little ball flick
Yeah.
is important.
Yeah.
But do you still play?
Nope.
No? You only played the one time?
Yep.
You created an account
Yep. That's
played
pretty much like
once
Twitter.
and
This is
never
my
touched
first
it.
tweet.
and then never touched it.
And then never touched it again.
Nice.
No. I'm an Instagram girl.
Have you ever skateboarded or ridden a longboard?
No.
No? Okay.
I had wheelies growing up, though.
You mean Heelys?
Or Heelys, yeah.
Yeah.
Those things were sweet, but we had a really rocky driveway, so I couldn't really
Did you ever use them
Practice?
anywhere other than your driveway? Like, did you
Yeah.
ever wear them to a shopping mall?
Yes.
Or,
Yes.
yeah. Did you get good at them on smooth floors?
Oh yeah, and I felt so awesome. I was like,
That's
I'm
great.
so awesome.
If you
Going down aisle 3, look at my Heelys. So cool.
If you can handle Heelys, you could probably totally handle riding a longboard.
I was also much shorter and closer to the ground, so I feel like I have a lot farther to fall.
I am 6'2" and up to like 265 pounds right now, so I have a pretty high center of gravity, and I have pretty bad balance in overall. Like I stumble just trying to put my shoes on.
Okay.
And I can stay up pretty well on a longboard, so you should give it a try.
Oh yeah, I should get my Converse on. And
Yeah.
what do longboarders? Is there like an attire that they usually wear to fit the part?
It's such a mixed bag of people, because you have downhill racers that are like, that's their own whole culture. You have people that just ride casually and don't conform to any particular norm. And I just found out about longboard dancing like yesterday, that like that's a thing. So I don't know what their culture looks like, but I imagine they wear clothing that's very uninhibited of movement or whatever.
That would require you to know how to dance too, right?
Yeah, I imagine.
That would be your prerequisite. Okay.
I meant to look up YouTube videos last night of longboard dancing, but I got sidetracked by other YouTube videos that were on my suggested feed.
Like what, Chris?
Like car stuff.
Oh, okay.
Nothing too embarrassing, thank goodness. You didn't put me on the spot there. There's a YouTube channel I follow that was recommended by a friend that does car stuff, and they were doing reviews, not really reviews, but they were highlighting and talking about different accessories for your car, that some are more illegal than others, like radar blockers and things that like can disguise your license plate number, and just exhaust modifications.
Didn't you put a BMW thing on the back of your car?
Yeah, not exactly the same kind of thing, but yes, I did have a Volkswagen Golf with a BMW logo on the back. I couldn't find a Volkswagen logo that fit. The BMW one was the right size.
That's awesome.
What do you want?
That's awesome.
It was better than a empty black circle.
I love driving up to my work with all of these like butterfly doors and super nice cars with my basically broken down Honda. Cracked windshield. I'm like, she's a teacher.
Where do you go where you're parking next to fancy cars?
Oh, work. At my work.
Oh.
At the school that I work at. Everybody's there.
So the other teachers can afford good cars, but
well, no.
You're the only one that's not paid well?
Mine's like, I
Or
really
maybe you
need
just
to
have
do
an
better at
inferiority
cleaning out my car.
complex
I
with
just,
your
I have
car.
this thing with Starbucks cups.
Uh-huh.
I collect them in my front seat. Sometimes it gets out of hand and it's just like a pile. I remember when I was online dating and I was on a date and I was picking this guy up and I'm like, you kind of have to sit in the back seat. And he's like, why? And he's like, because there's a bunch of Starbucks cups.
Wow.
And I didn't. We didn't work out.
This
obviously.
was your car?
Yeah, this is my car.
Oh,
I was like, ooh, sorry, you're gonna need to take the back seat.
You didn't even have time to clean your car out first.
Well, I mean, it was really just the cups that were inhibiting, which makes it even funnier because I could have easily moved them back, but there was a just obscene number of cups.
Right.
And I'm like,
But you
well,
didn't take the 10 minutes to throw them away before picking him up.
What you see is what you get, Chris.
But also,
Me?
why was he not meeting you somewhere?
don't
Why was
really
he
know.
riding with you?
I don't know. It was kind of creepy. This
Yeah, it's
must have
kind
been
of
a
odd
second
to
date.
pick someone up. Yeah, you said it was a second date?
It might have been. I don't remember.
Okay.
I don't know. Online dating, such funny stories. Threw up on a date once. That was
You
good
threw
times.
up on the date, or you threw up on your date?
No, not on the date.
Okay.
Not on him. No.
Okay.
No, I threw up in a trash can by Pike Place Market, and that was great.
I'm noticing a pattern.
I just have a...
You throw up a lot.
Well, you know what I'm trying to figure out how to do for a bachelorette party that's coming up is make a Tums candy necklace.
Oh, God.
It's like take Tums. And do you think that that's possible to drill a hole in the middle of Tums if you find a small enough drill?
Yeah. Yeah, there's...
And it wouldn't crack?
I think you could probably pull it off. And there's definitely lots of very small drill bits out there. Any size drill bit that you can imagine exists, and you can get it at your local hardware store.
Let me explain to you the project that I'm working on.
I think you already did.
No, I'm imagining me in front of the hardware specialist.
Oh, I would just say I'm looking
help.
for a tiny drill bit.
I don't need to give him more information than that.
No.
I always overshare, though.
They might ask what material you're drilling through, and then you just say Tums.
Dust.
Chalk.
Compact dust. Chalk, yeah.
Combination of dust and chalk.
That's pretty much what they are. Smoothie ones are pretty good, but the rest of them I'm like, yeah. So
yeah. No, I would just tell them you're making a candy necklace out of Tums for
Can you help me
for
out?
cakes.
I just want to see his reaction.
They'd probably just be like, "That
Can you
sounds
make me
weird.
one?"
Can you make me one?" Yeah. Yeah, at first they'd be like, "That sounds a little weird," and then like 30 seconds would go by and they'd be like, "Actually, that sounds like a good idea."
Honestly, though, not bad. That and Pedialyte, you're set for a bachelorette party.
Really, any party.
Any party
needs Tums and Pedialyte. At least afterwards. The care package on the way out. Here's your...
No, I would keep them for myself. I go through so many Tums. I go through bottles of Tums. Alexa, every single day I'm like, Alexa, add Tums. Alexa, add Tums.
I meant, if you wanted to do like a gift grab bag.
No.
As a gag, you could have one of the Tums necklaces and a little bottle of Pedialyte in a little paper lunch sack and hand one to each person as they leave.
If I could figure out a way to make these... Oh, no, totally. If I could figure out how to make these really quickly, I would. But I'm imagining the effort that it takes to make one of these necklaces. I wouldn't even want to eat the Tums off of it. I'd be like, okay, this is just a necklace.
Yeah.
Like, I worked so hard on this.
Well, on that note...
Yeah.
Did you have anything else that you wanted to
Nope.
cover?
I think we're...
That's cool. All right. Well, thank you all for joining us.
That's enough content for today. Hopefully you guys learned something interesting.
Yeah, we had a good time. Yeah, we... I guess I should do the normal closing stuff. Let's see. What is that again? You should subscribe to our podcast if you haven't already, so you get notifications for new episodes. We're on all the major podcast services, so find us wherever. Let's see. Notifications are helpful because we're not on a set schedule. You probably figured that out already. Let's see. Yeah, if you had a good time listening, tell your friends and
go to Sisters and Brothers for dinner tonight.
Yeah,
that's my ending comment.
Great chicken. Oh, you can also email us to tell us how much we suck at unqualifiedopinionspc@gmail.com. Any constructive feedback, questions, ideas for topics, all of that is appreciated. And let's see. That about wraps it up. Thanks for joining us.
Cool.
We'll see you next time.
Ciao.